Hey guys. Oop. There we go. Hey guys. You want to see a movie about Hong Kong and a martial arts tournament?
That background. The answer is yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you do, then Bloodsport is for you. I'll turn that off.
Bloodsport is the movie that we watched. What is this episode of Loose Cannon? My name is Brian Lee.
Brian. Christopher Lee. Brian Lee, what are you drinking?
I'm totally scattered right now. I'm drinking the Jepson's bourbon, and then I got my Rain body fuel, and then I'm bored because I wanted something fizzy, so now I'm drinking Diet Pepsi that I found in the fridge, and I have a bowl that had some popcorn in it. So yeah.
Have you guys had mango cranberry juice?
No,
dude, it's good. It's very tasty. All I have is water in the house. I don't have any soda, nothing bad like that. So, but I wanted a little something else. So I wanted some juice. So I got some of the 100% cranberry, and then I saw that it was a 2 for $5. I'm like, I've had it before. It's good. Let's try it. So recommend it.
Brand. Do you recommend Bloodsport?
Or yes.
Good man.
I don't know why I say of course. It was very good. I've seen it before.
Brian, do you recommend Bloodsport?
Not only do I recommend it, this is my favorite movie that we have ever talked about, and this is my favorite martial arts movie ever.
Yes, I agree. Highly recommend it. It's also one of those few rare films where every time I watch it, it seems to get better. Brian, you said that this was your favorite movie that we've covered so far. Yes. Even better than Over the Top?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Yes, because Over the Top has that bullshit little kid, and it's just like, if that was like all arm wrestling and, get rid of that whole father-son plot. Like, I get it. Like, that's a big part of it, but it makes me, I just could give two shits less.
Yeah.
Very bloodthirsty. I get it. It's fine. I get what you're saying. Bloodsport, like from beginning to end, there's almost really no stop of the fighting. Where,
right.
Like if you said like the end is like if like they had that ending of Over the Top, if they even had a few matches during it of like just that intense, like
right. Like prelims or something like that.
Exactly. Except your last 20 minutes is when you get the crazy excitement to where
right.
That's the whole thing. So,
speaking of annoying kids, this movie does have some annoying kid actors for a very brief moment.
Yeah.
Which shows a young Jean-Claude Van Damme who and his buddies breaking into the Shidoshi's house. And they're trying to steal a sword. And I'm going to assume that's not that kid's real accent.
Yeah, I have no idea. It is bizarre.
I couldn't really even place it. I wasn't even sure what he was trying to do.
What kind of a deal?
Only the kids were only there for like a few minutes. The best line, one of the best lines though.
Why don't you quit, Rondine?
I did not remember that, and I lost it. I was dying.
And I mean, how old do you think that kid is? Like 10? 9?
Yeah. You got to be, yeah.
So, and he already has it implanted in his head. So after he gets his ass beat by those kids from school and young Jean-Claude saves his ass, he's like, someday I'll fight in the Kumite and make my father proud. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like,
that was one of my first notes was that, super early on, that kid's like, I'm going to go to the Kumite. But it's supposed to be this like super secret thing that no one knows about.
Right.
Even children know about it.
Yeah.
It's
like his dad was like prepping him at a young age to fight in this tournament to like for his family's clan or whatever. The beginning training montage was great.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. I love the training montages. It was
all the montages in this movie are amazing.
Yeah. Oh, and the first time you see Jean-Claude with that big goofy smile he has, like the first, it was just like, oh my God, that is just so.
Right.
There's a lot of Mentos type of smiles in this.
Yes, there are.
It's like, you.
Exactly.
You know what? The other kind of side plot I could have done without, though, is like the two agents like trying to go after them.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was they wanted some type of slapstick or a comedic. Because you know when they were chasing them through Hong Kong, you can tell Jean-Claude, he's like, come on, guys, keep up, come on.
Right.
I fall in the wall. This happened. Right. It was all very goofy with them. So I didn't mind it too much because of that. I think if they kept it like serious the whole time, that would have been like, okay, it wasn't serious. You weren't going to get them. So I'm glad they did the comedic part to it.
But I feel like you get enough comic relief from Ogre.
Yes.
Jackson, whatever his name is.
Forrest Whitaker, so I can't really complain. Every time I saw him, I just thought nerds in my head. I just named it. It was great.
Who's almost always drinking a beer in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. He gets on the bus, and he like talks to a woman in front of him, and then she's like ignores him, and he puts his leg over the seat. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is a really good guy.
Hey, babe, you want to go out with a real big man? No, huh? Too handsome for you, huh, honey?
On their handler, whoever the handler, the two guys, yeah, they bring him to the alleyway,
right?
And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're for the Kumite," and the guy's look at like, "Okay, USA."
So they go into like the arena. And they have to prove, that they can do the Kumite without getting killed. Mm-hmm. And they're like, Tanaka is your Sadoshi. He's like, what's the big deal? And he's like, if he is your Sadoshi, then you know the dim mak. As he's getting ready to do the dim mak, it's just like doing random cuts of everyone. But when it shows Chong Li, and it's just like he's holding his stomach like he just ate some really spicy food. Yeah. Like, oh.
I did like the cuts to Chong Li every once in a while just to get his action happening. He either was just like proved, or just like,
yeah, right. Or when Jackson beats his first opponent, he's like,
"I'm gonna kill you, man. Yeah, you, man."
I thoroughly enjoy like the coins scene.
Go. You lose, American asshole.
Looks like she's mine.
It's super cheesy, but it's just like it's something about it. Just
no, I'm on the same page with you completely.
And the fact that they add that little flashback scene of him grabbing the fish. Right. Like, there we go.
I enjoyed that when they only did it a few times too. Mm-hmm. They would cut back to his training and then go back to like him using it.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I love the song. My body is ready, but my heart's on fire.
My body's ready, my heart's on fire.
Fight to survive.
Yeah.
The main.
Like whenever I was like ready to work out or like do anything physical, that just like played.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's wait. Oh yeah, it got me pumped. I loved it.
This whole soundtrack is pretty good.
It's pretty awesome. Except for that during the chase scene when the two agents are going after Jean-Claude Van Damme, that music's kind of weird. It's a weird choice.
Every time you cry, every time you lie, everywhere you look, they just never know.
A lot of splits.
There are 7 splits in this movie.
That Fight to Survive song. So that's done by Stan Bush, which is the same guy who did the You've Got the Touch.
You got
the Transformers one. He did Never Surrender.
Never surrender.
And I thought there was another one, but I'm like, dude, the guy's a fucking hit machine for 80s movies. But yeah.
So Chung-Li and Jackson, that's his name, right? Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they have their fight and Chung-Li wins and whatever, in very brutal fashion. It's these whole series of events. And then, obviously Van Damme all shaken up about it. He's on the bus ride home. And then they show a montage of what just happened.
Right.
It's very it's like literally the series of events and then immediately montage of what just happened. It's very
right.
kind of unnecessary.
It's like, we were just here. We saw that.
Yeah.
But then shortly after that, around 59 minutes, he's fighting the big sumo guy. So
Yeah.
he does the palm to his abdomen. He's like, oh, but then probably one of the best things ever in a movie is he does the splits and uppercuts his crotch.
Right in the ding ding. I have it. I was super happy that none of the fighters were like over the top, cheesy, gimmicky type fighters. They had like that sumo guy. It wasn't like he was dressed like Yokozuna, and coming in like stomping and throwing salt and stuff. He was just a big dude.
Yeah, so the sumo guy was not very sumo, but I disagree with everything else you just said.
I agree with Chris.
They really didn't seem like over the top. I guess because I'm kind of comparing them to like the previous canons we've watched, where they had like that one in the future where that guy was dressed all like I can't remember, America 3000.
Oh, I mean, that was just not a good movie.
But what I'm saying, I'm thinking of bad guys like the over the top, kind of like that. Like these weren't crazy over the top. They still were like, I'd say the most over the top was that one dude, the black dude on his hands and like,
doing like the monkey stuff.
So it wasn't too nuts, but you could still tell they were doing their. I would compare it to Street Fighter.
Right. Right.
So not over the top, but still everyone had their own gimmick.
Which a little bit of trivia, Mortal Kombat was based on this movie.
Fantastic.
And obviously, Johnny Cage is based on Jean-Claude Van Damme, obviously because of his moveset.
What I really noticed in the fight with Chong-Li and Ogre is, first off, Ogre's sweatpants really lets us know that Ogre has no ass. And then also, for the first time in like the over 30 times that I've seen this movie, I actually paid attention to the crowd. And the crowd is just doing this with money. I never realized that.
In one of the angles, like kind of towards the front, there's like an older person. Yeah, and they're just like,
Chung-Li, that actor must have not been able to speak very much English.
Yeah, I don't know what the story is with that.
Yeah, because I mean everything's overdubbed. Right.
Was he overdubbed when he was like, "You're next" or whatever?
You're right. Yeah, you're next.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if it was overdubbed because they must have done a good job with it because I thought it might have been him, but probably not. He barely spoke at all. Yeah,
you break my record. Now I break you, like I break your friend.
Or they gave him a few lines, like how they gave Jean-Claude, and we only had a few lines in that one. The same movie I was talking about earlier, the one with the thing.
Before you were talking about America 3000, which I don't think Van Damme was in.
No, the one where he's that bounty hunter type.
Cyborg?
We just watched it.
Cyborg?
Yes. All was called Cyborg. I couldn't even remember. Man, I am just.
It's the one with the robot guy. This movie has like one of like the most iconic like action movie scenes ever. So after Jean-Claude gets blinded with that powder, and he's just like kind of on his knees. This it's a combination of how it's shot, like how like he's in focus and the audience isn't. And the scream that he lets out at an hour, it's like an hour 22, something like that. It's just like I said, I'm a huge nerd, but I literally get goosebumps every time. I'm like, you fuck yeah.
You almost feel like he really got that dust in his eyes, and he's just like, yeah, you guys.
Wow, Chris, did you just play a clip from the movie, Chris?
I should have warned you. I should have warned of you, but yeah, I know I'm very intense. I know.
Sound like you stubbed your toe there.
What can I say?
Now, a little shortly after that, when he's beating up Chung Lee, and he keeps on making that why.
And Gus, I kept thinking sand in the eyes, like old school wrestling.
Fuji dust.
That are Dale Gribble's pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
So one question I have is, in one of Chong Lee's fights, he obviously kills the dude.
Yes.
And when that happens, everyone turns their back on him. The judges, they turn their back and whatever.
Yeah.
And then nothing happens. It's not like he's kicked out of the tournament. It's not like he's disqualified or he loses the match. People are just oh, we don't agree with this. But you get to move on to the next match.
Right. I guess it's dishonorable or yeah.
It's frowned upon, but it's an anything goes, but I think it's frowned upon.
I don't know. They make a whole big deal of, showing the judges turning their back, but then nothing happens. So,
right. I mean, because it's not like he gets penalized. So it's just I'm going to keep killing motherfuckers.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Because it's a good point. Because even he was walking, looking, he's kind of threw his hand at him and just walked off. Because he knew he wasn't getting. Yeah.
Also, in that last fight between Van Damme and Chong Lee, Van Damme. Granted, I know it's because of the sand in the eyes or whatever, but Van Damme is very handsy with the ref. He's constantly just
trying to protect him, I guess.
No, man, he's feeling his surroundings, bro.
Oh, yeah. He kept checking out his abs, though. It was weird.
I just started grabbing his dick.
I'm blind. I can't help it.
I'm gonna jerk you off.
This is what happens.
Sand. It's a plane with sand. But yeah, and after that, I like how it seemingly cuts to just random scenes. He's doing the leg kick thing repeatedly, and then all of a sudden he's doing jumping splits. I'm wait, how did this series of events happen back to back?
That's why I'm just he's just doing all that because he just remembered his training. That's all it was. That's his 4 roundhouse kicks in a row.
It's just she's ducking so she can't be in the camera. It's just it's there's a weird bridge troll.
just a hunchback.
I need sustenance.
Get back to cleaning the floors.
The end. When they're in Ogre's hospital room.
Yes.
That's super emotional. For the movie being very fighting, not much. Even the whole love interest thing wasn't super deep. She was worried for 1 second, then she's cheering the next.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The bro love between him and Ogre was super serious. At the end, he's anywhere, anytime, any place. I'll be there for you. And I was I love you, Ogre. And he gave him a big smooch. That was great.
Yeah. Now, and it's weird, too, because doesn't he say, I love you? And then he's me too.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the proper response to that.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Well, and I just like that they do the arm wrestling, kind of arm and hand thing. I don't know.
What was really cool, though, I felt at that time, yeah, these guys are best friends. This is great. That's how I felt. It felt like it was a really, they really did go through something together. It was that's because it was such It was such a good movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, a lot of the trivia is about the fact that it's supposedly based on a true story of Frank Dux and how most people don't believe what he says.
Right.
And there's a little like blurb about like Frank Dux and, you know, how he's like undefeated and whatever. But then it lists his world records. So one of them is fastest punch with a knockout, 0.12 seconds. Okay.
Yes.
So punch, 0.12 seconds. Fastest kick with a knockout, 72 miles per hour. So yeah, fastest punch is measured in seconds. Fastest kick is measured in like speed. So I don't know. I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then there was one like about most knockouts or something like. There was another stat in there that didn't make any sense to me.
Frank Dux claims that he scored 56 knockouts in the Kumite. But for that to be true, that means there need to be 72 quadrillion fighters in the Kumite.
Yeah, I think that was the stat. I'm like, wait, how is that possible?
Yeah. Brandon, your door behind you just closed by itself.
It's either a ghost or
a ghost. This is another movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme actually helped edit, which I found interesting.
Nice.
This is one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's favorite movies of his own, which I agree with.
Oh, yeah. We should watch it with them. Let's contact him. He's probably not doing much.
Yeah. And last bit of trivia, Frank Dux was the fight coordinator for this film.
Yes.
And when Jean-Claude Van Damme was, you know, when they announced that he was cast as the main star, Dux announced that Van Damme wasn't in good enough shape. So he put him through a 3-month training program. And later, Van Damme said it was the hardest training of his entire life.
I wonder if Dux is just like, yeah, I need you to just pick up this 10 pound, no, what, 20. Wow, I am.
Go on.
I just completely lost everything I was going to say. It just was there, gone. So, you two.
I wonder if the training was basically what was shown in the movie, where was it Shidoshi or whatever? He's just whacking him with like bamboo sticks.
See? And that's where that's where I was going with it. So thank you. I appreciate you picking up my.
I do what I can.
So like I've seen this a bunch of times, but this is the first time where I'm like, man, like the records especially, I'm like, man, like that's a lot of stuff. And it's just like, the stats seem very odd to me.
Yes.
So I actually did a little looking online about Frank Dux, and there seems to be a lot of information pointing that a lot of stuff that he claims is not true.
Yes. Yep.
Like his military history and all that stuff like that. But in regards to this movie, so apparently for him winning the Kumite, he got a sword.
Oh, okay.
And when they asked him if he had the sword still, he goes, no, he doesn't, because he sold the sword to pay for a rescue mission to rescue a boat full of orphans from pirates in the Philippines.
As one does.
Yeah, and I hear two conflicting stories. Either he was paid $25,000 to assassinate Steven Seagal, or he was paid $25,000 to save Steven Seagal from those same pirates.
I hope all of that is true.
Yes.
Like, I want it to be true so bad, just because it would almost make Bloodsport real.
Yeah, I would, like I said, I think Frank Dux wrote a book. And now after watching this for like the bazillionth time, I'd be curious to read that.
Because, I mean, like there's one, like he said, you know, he got the Medal of Honor, but like in the picture of him wearing the Medal of Honor, it's like the Medal of Honor for the Army, but he was a Marine. And like when he was asked, when he was asked about it, they're like, hey, how come you have this Army one, not the Marine one? He's like, they never told me.
So lazy. Now that we have talked about Bloodsport, Brand, do you recommend it still?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, since I would have to say this is probably my top 5 like fighting movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bruce Lee's in my top 5 fighting movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like this is up there, but it's I think it does such a good job of keeping it focused on the fighting and less on the love interest, like goofy, like chasing. So yeah, it's a very solid movie.
Brian, do you still recommend Bloodsport?
Yep, 100%.
And what did everyone think of their respective whiskeys and bourbons and such?
Great. Yeah, I had Glenn going again since last time. I think I'm gonna go try to brave the outdoors with my mask. Maybe try a Benny's and get another something, but I don't know. We'll see.
And I think that's everything. Yeah. So until next time, boom, boom.
Hey, Brian here. Thanks for checking out Nick Uncaged and Loose Cannon. Best way you can help other people find out about us is like, comment, share, and subscribe to the podcast.